This is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Today I have a very special treat for you. We have the brand newest Omega juicers to do a juice off with today, but technically we're not really doing a juice off because I didn't specifically weigh out the pineapples. But that being said, we are going to be juicing two pineapples. One in the all-new Omega VRT 330 HD. So this is the heavy-duty model of the Omega Vert 330. The heavy-duty model varies basically in one different way. The juicer is identical to the 330. The 330 model comes with this screen. This is the standard white screen that if you've seen my other videos on YouTube about the Omega Vert 330, most of those videos are actually made with the original Vert 330 juicer that has the white screen. Now this screen, I have seen it, it is prone to cracking if you do juice a lot, if you're what I call a heavy-duty juicer and like to juice every single day so you get the maximum benefits. If you maybe juice once a week, then you'll probably be all right with maybe the standard Vert 330. The new 330 HD comes with the brand new Ultim screen. So this screen right here in this hand is 8 times stronger than this old one. So with this one, I haven't had any reports whatsoever of the screen breakage, as well as my personal use using this fairly hard. Haven't been able to break it yet, so I think this is definitely a good way to go. If you are a heavy-duty juicer, then I recommend only buying the Omega Vert 330 HD or heavy-duty model. Over on this side, we have another heavy-duty juicer. We have the Omega BMJ 390 HD. Now, this is the heavy-duty model of the Mega Mouth juicer. So this is also UL listed for commercial use and also has ETL sanitation, which is basically the same as NSF for the health code. So you can use this in places like a juice bar or a restaurant and things like that. This one comes with a 10-year warranty, and this one over here also comes with a 10-year warranty. These are both juicers, but they both operate very differently. This one basically is a centrifugal injection style juicer. There's a fast spinning blade that spins 11,000 RPM, so that's really fast. And as you put the produce in, the blade that's spinning shreds your produce, and as it shreds it, the pulp is kicked into the hopper in the back, the juice comes out the front. So that's very high speed. The benefit to this is it has a large 3-inch wide feed chute. Now this style juicer is definitely best with things that are hard and fibrous. So things like carrots and apples, and pineapples will actually work fairly well. And over on this side, the main difference with this one is this runs at 80. Yeah, that's right, I said 80 RPM. So that's magnitudes slower than this one, and you'll also see because this one also is a lot more quiet. This one unfortunately has a much smaller feed chute, maybe even half or less than half the size. So that means you're going to have to cut up the produce more. With this one, you don't have to cut the produce up quite as much. So you're going to save some preparation time, and also with this one, you're going to save juicing time. And this video is going to be done in real time, so I won't do any editing to the video, so you can see actually how long it takes to juice. And I mean, we'll literally be done in under 30 seconds in this machine. This one's going to take a little bit longer because it does run at 80 RPMs. But every juicer has its pros and cons. So some of the advantages of the slow running machine are it's quiet. Number one, you could juice while your family or roommates are still asleep in the morning if you have to get up and go to work early. Another benefit is generally the slower the running the machine, the higher the nutrient quality. So hopefully you're juicing for your health, and why not give yourself every possible advantage and get the highest quality nutrition out of the juice that you're spending the time to make. So those are two real good advantages to that machine. I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and turn the machines on and let's get juicing. So first we're going to do the Omega Mega Mouth BMJ 390 HD. We'll turn this thing on. Pretty quick there. We're going to push this in. As you can see, as I push the pineapples in, juices are right up. Done really fast, and as you see that juice pouring out of that front there, it's really kind of foamy, and we're going to notice the difference the machines make, and this is the juice quality. Because this machine is running at a faster RPM, what happens is more oxygen is introduced into that juice, and what happens with the oxidation in the juice is it oxidizes the juice, much like when you cut open an apple and it turns brown. That's oxidation. So basically it's not quite as nutritious. So once again, you always want to tip up the machine to get the rest of that juice out, otherwise it's going to drip all over your countertop or your table or wherever you're juicing. So we are done literally in, 30 seconds, really fast, really easy. And both these machines are really easy to clean under 4 minutes. Next, we're going to juice in the Omega VRT 330 HD. This is the heavy duty model, and the only difference once again is the screen. Let's go ahead and turn this machine on. And you know, there are some tricks when juicing, especially with the Omega Vert 330 HD. The main thing, I mean, this machine does excellent at juicing fruits, and most slow running juicers maybe don't do so good at fruits, but this one in my opinion does the best at juicing fruits. That being said, I recommend that you juice your vegetables and you blend or eat your fruits whole. That being said, I love to drink some pineapple juice sometimes. But when you're feeding the produce into the Omega Vert, you got to rotate the produce style. So say you're juicing carrots and greens, you want to put a carrot in, then put some leafy greens, then put a carrot. Don't just put like all carrots, then all leafy greens. It might not work as well. Same thing even when you're juicing something like pineapple. You know, this pineapple basically was like this, and you can see in the middle of a pineapple is the core. And those core pieces are very fibrous. I don't know if you ever tried to eat one of the core pieces, but if you do, it doesn't really chew up. But you know what? That's what this juicer loves. It loves the core pieces. And you know, if it has too much soft stuff, then the juicer tends to back up and not work so well. And most juicers, especially if they're slow running juicers, tend to do that. So what we're gonna do to help it along is, and I'll prompt you guys when I'm doing it. First, we're gonna take a non-core piece. So this is an outer part of the pineapple, and we're gonna put an outer part in there. Now we're gonna put another outer part, and you can see there's no core piece on that. So we basically used two non-core pieces, and now we're gonna take a nice center core, where basically half of this up to about there, or 3/4 of it is regular fruit. Then we got core. That core fiber, that hard fiber, really helps to eject the produce out of the machine so that you'll get the maximum yield and the least amount of backup. So very important. So once again, we're gonna put in two more pieces of the non-core that basically is a softer pineapple. And now we're gonna try to get a piece that has a lot of core. Once again, that fiber is really important. And you can see, and you can hear actually now, this machine's working and it's relatively really quiet. I'm not having to struggle too much to talk over it. Really nice. And the other thing that's really nice is that the machine is self-feeding. Look, Mom, no hands. The pusher's just sitting here. You don't really need to use it on the Omega Vert, and that's another thing I like. It just saves you time with this. You have to push it down. With the Vert, you don't have to, depending on obviously what you are juicing. We're gonna just drop another piece of pineapple in there. It's coming right out. So that was a non-core piece, by the way. Now this is another non-core piece. And now we're gonna take a middle piece that has a nice thick core. Once again, the core is right there. Very important to feed them properly and to rotate your produce. I do have a video episode on minimizing pulp in the Omega Vert juicer. And if you are curious about this subject, you could check that out and see how to minimize pulp and get the maximum yield out of the machine by watching that video. There's basically 9 different techniques you could use. So you always want to try to finish up with a piece that has a little bit of the core in there. So we're going to put that piece in. And then finally we're going to use this last piece that has a little bit of core. And the other thing about the Omega Vert is that you don't want to just like keep cramming stuff in. As I've been feeding, I've been talking to you guys, but also I've been waiting for the machine to do its job and do its work. If you try to cram things in there too fast, it's not going to work, not going to get the most yield. The way you can tell if it's ready for another piece is actually if you look at the pulp ejection. The pulp comes out here. If the pulp stops moving, then you're ready for a new piece. So we're going to go ahead and dump in that last piece of pineapple, and as you can see, all the juice pouring out. And now the pulp is slowly moving out. The other thing about the Omega Vert is that, you know, once you put the last piece in, you're going to wait it actually another 30 to 60 seconds to kind of let it run a little bit, because the machine is still working a little bit to extract all that juice out of the produce that you just put in there. I think we're pretty good now. We're going to go ahead and turn this off. Once again, we're going to tip this guy up, and you know, not much more juice comes out of the Omega Vert juicer when you tip it up. It's pretty efficient. So as you can see, I mean, this machine was done in seconds. This might have took, I don't know, what, twice as long, plus I was talking a little bit. But you can see what we're rewarded with. This juice over here, approximately 3 1/4 cups. And the juice over here, that's approximately, I'd say, 2.5 cups. So 3 1/4 cups versus 2.5 cups. Also, this one has a lot more foam than this one. That's because, you know, the higher the speed, the higher the RPMs, the more oxygen that's being introduced in the juice. And now I don't know if you could get a close-up on that and see that, but clearly on the side, on this side, the Mega Mouth juicer, you get what's called juicer separation. And what that means is like, because it's running at so high of a speed, like down here is a lot more water and then up here is like dark, rich juice. But on the Omega Vert 330 HD, this is all pretty much a rich juice. And you know what? This stuff tastes amazing. If you've never had fresh pineapple juice, you just got to get one of these juices to try. It's so delicious. Nothing like the ones, you know, in a can or bottle in the store. These are fresh juices that contain the full enzymes and highest possible nutrition. The ones that you buy in the store oftentimes, you know, been pasteurized, heat processed, and then it loses a lot of the, well, it loses all the enzymes and a lot of the nutrition as well. So freshness is always best. This is what I like to say. So next, let's check the Pulp out of the machines. The Pulp will tell us, you know, tried and true, which machine was more efficient. And you know, once again, I want to reiterate that both these pineapples were about the same size, but they might not be exactly the same weight, of course. So your results also may vary, and this was not necessarily a juice off, but that being said, I'm fairly confident the Omega Vert 330 HD, just by the way it extracts, is a lot more efficient than the Omega Megamouth BMJ 390 HD. So let's move the juice aside and let's check out the pulp. So here's the pulp out of the Omega Vert 330 HD, and here's the pulp out of the Megamouth. And the Megamouth pulp right here, it's actually really wet, and let's see if I can squeeze some of that. Like, it just squeezes out, and it's really moist, and actually here's even some large pieces left inside. The pulp in the Omega Vert 330 HD, you know, it's all basically broken down. There's no big pieces. I mean, that's a fairly large piece. No big pieces, and you know, while there is still a little bit of juice, it's just much, much drier, and that just shows that the Omega Vert 330 HD much more efficient when juicing pineapples. So be sure to check my other videos so that you can find the juicer that's best going to meet your needs, because that's what it's all about. If you're going to a wedding, you're not going to wear a bikini, but if you're going to the beach, you won't wear a wedding gown. Just like when you're juicing, you know, if you're going to juice certain items or certain produce items are going to juice better and yield more in some juicers and not in others. So you want to select the juice that's going to do right for you, and I make all these videos so that you can see how they all work. And once again, juicing allows you to eat more fresh fruits and vegetables so that you too can get healthy. So once again, this is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors.